In this video, I'll show you how to connect Slack with OpenClaw so that you can build a personal AI assistant and chat with local AI models via Ollama through the Slack chat interface. In one of my previous videos, I showed you how to connect Telegram with OpenClaw. You can check it in the description of the video. To connect Slack with OpenClaw to chat with local Ollama models, we need to follow these steps. Over here, we have 5 different steps. So let's go through each one of them. First, you can use the desktop Slack app or use the web interface to create a new workspace and specify the name of the workspace. So I will launch the web app for Slack. I will hover on the workspace icon and click this button to add a new workspace. So with this option, you can create a new workspace. Since I already have one, I'm going to cancel it. Once you create a new workspace, the next thing to do is to create a new Slack app and put the app in your workspace. So you can use this URL to create a new Slack app. I'm going to copy that. Alternatively, you can go to the web app for Slack and hover on the admin button. You can go to apps and workflows to create a new app. I will open a new tab here and paste the URL and press the return key. So to create a new one, you have to agree with the terms and conditions. Then you click this button and follow the instructions to create a new Slack app. You have noticed here, I have already created one. So that is what we are going to use for this demo. So we can now close the browser tab. After you create a workspace and also a new Slack app, what you need to do next is to configure the workspace and the Slack app with OpenClaw. You can set up OpenClaw to work with AI models and services in different ways. You can, for example, use Anthropic and OpenAI models. However, those are more expensive. In this example, we want to use Ollama and OpenClaw so that we can chat with local Ollama models. I have already installed Ollama and one of the local Ollama models, that is GLM 4.7 Flash. So by using this command, we can launch OpenClaw via Ollama. With that, we can launch Ollama models with OpenClaw and chat with them locally. So let's copy this command and paste it in the terminal. I'll press the return key to launch OpenClaw via Ollama. You have noticed over here, it is launching the GLM 4.7 Flash model via Ollama. And we can access the OpenClaw web interface with this local URL. I will keep this terminal running and launch a new window. To go to the OpenClaw web interface, we can copy this command and paste it in the terminal. So that launches OpenClaw through the browser, and over here, we can chat with the installed AI model via the compose area in OpenClaw. In the next step, we can configure Slack and other chat messaging platforms by running this command, OpenClaw config. So we go to the terminal and run the command. You have noticed we are still running the local Ollama model, that is GLM 4.7 Flash. So here we have an option to select a gateway. We will leave it as local and press the return key to continue. Next, we have to select the section we want to configure. You have noticed here there are so many sections. You can, for example, configure the workspace. You can configure your module provider, but in our case, we will move on to channels. And as you have noticed, under channels, you can configure, for example, WhatsApp, Telegram, iMessage, and more. Let's press the return key and also choose the first option. Over here, you can select the channel you want to configure. There are so many chat messaging applications you can configure with OpenClaw. So in our case, we need to select Slack. You have noticed here, it is already configured. If you haven't configured Slack yet, you will get a screen that looks like this. So over here, you can go ahead and select this option and configure Slack with OpenClaw. Once you select the Slack option and press the return key, you will get a screen that looks like this. On this screen, you will be requested to add 2 items, your Slack manifest and also the Slack bot token. For the Slack manifest, you should go to the OpenClaw website. On the OpenClaw website, you can visit the documentation and select channels. Then you go to the section Slack. On this page, you have to scroll down to find a manifest. So that is this one. So you can copy it here and come back to the screen. Then you will need to paste it here. Next, you will need to enter your Slack token. To get the Slack app token, you should visit this URL, api.slack.com/apps. So you will need to pick the app you already created. So if I visit api.slack.com, what you need to do to get the app token is to go to the section Socket Mode. Enable socket mode is on by default, so you should ensure you don't disable it. Next, you should navigate to all time permissions. You have noticed over here, I have already installed the app in the workspace. If you haven't done that yet, you get an option to install the app in the workspace. Once you install the app in the workspace, we will have these two tokens, the bot user token and user token. So you copy this one and go back to the OpenClaw configuration. So you will need to paste the bot token over here below the Slack manifest and press the return key to proceed. So on the next screen, you are required to enter the Slack app token. If I go back to the API, that is this one. So you copy this token and paste it there. Then you press the return key to proceed. So on this screen, we have already added the Slack manifest. We have entered the Slack bot token and also the Slack app token. The next option will ask you whether you want to configure the Slack channel's access. So you have noticed here, I have yes. Here you can select any of these options. I will choose allow all channels and press the return key to continue. For DM access policies, I will select yes. So for the Slack DM access policy, using a parent code is recommended. So I'll select that one. Next, I'll select continue to get it done. So we have now added a Slack DM policy. The configuration is now complete. So we can now go to Slack and start chatting with the OpenClaw bot. In the Slack web app, under apps, you have noticed we now have the OpenClaw bot. Once you select that, you can now go ahead and start chatting with the bot. You have noticed here I added hi, and this was returned from the bot. So it says OpenClaw access not configured. That needs to be configured with the parent code. So you should copy the parent code and replace it here in the command. We have OpenClaw parent approve Slack. Then you enter the parent code. So I have the same command here. I will copy it. So all you need to do is to paste the command here and run it. So on the next screen, you have noticed here the parent is approved. So you can now go ahead and chat with your local OpenClaw AI assistant via Slack.